Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of May 2013. This is going to be a short first impressions video on one of these two knives. Well, if you've watched my channel for very long, you know it's way too late to do a first impressions video on this here blade. The venerable and high value cold steel American Lawman. Can be had for about 55 bucks. Got a 3 3/8 inch or so hollow ground drop point blade made of Aus 8. Wicked little cutter, very heavy duty. My thumb's just not working well tonight. Okay. It's a hard use tactical folder. Production knife made in Taiwan by Cold Steel. I used it today to open a box. You guys remember I had a knife sale a couple weeks ago. I mentioned a couple knives I'd like to purchase in that video, and one of them was in the box. This is one of the things the proceeds of my knife sale purchased. You all may recognize it. It is a zero tolerance ZT0550. Yeah, I've only had it a few hours, but it got to meet Mr. Edge Pro already. Now, it would have met Mr. Edge Pro regardless, but it really needed to meet Mr. Edge Pro. Here's what I found. A very asymmetrically ground cutting edge. It was pretty toothy. Even had a couple chips right here in this area. They were small chips, but they were chips. On the tip, don't think you can see it now, but let's try to get this to focus. Well, shoot, hold on, guys. Can't see it now, but when I got this knife, there was a dark bronze tip. Not the first time I've had this from a Kershaw product, and zero tolerance, as many of you know, is the higher priced, higher quality, rougher, heavier duty line from Kershaw. I had a burned tip. I figured pretty much the whole cutting edge was probably burned, so since it needed a pretty heavy duty reprofile anyway because the grind was so asymmetrical, it got one. No big deal, right? I've had to do that to a lot of my knives. I'm really used to doing it with Kershaw products. They come very sharp from the factory, they don't come ground very straight, and they burn a lot of edges. Not a good thing on S35VN steel. It doesn't like to be overheated, and it's pretty hard to grind. Now, why did I buy a 0550 if I wanted to buy a titanium frame lock mid-tech folder? Well, I did so because the pocket clip, of course, is not mounted for right-hand carry. I moved it to this side for left-hand carry. And this is a Generation 2 0550. Something interesting happened when I moved the clip. I found that there are more than one Gen 2. Now look very closely. I'm going to roll this knife so you can see. Look where the two mounting holes are on the titanium side. Keep an eye on this one, the one toward the end. As I roll the knife, I'm going to try to keep it straight. That knife is right right behind the center of this groove, that last groove. Wait, there is a screw on this side that lines up with that groove, but it's not the top one. Interesting. If you move the clip to the left side, it moves about 3/16 of an inch that way. It actually hangs over the end of the knife. I've found after doing some research that this knife is like a Gen 1.5 or a if you can, I don't know if you can see in the liners here, but I'm going to try to get this to focus. If you look closely, you'll see that there are, what angle can I use to get this? Wish I should have brought a light down. Anyway, there is a large weight saving hole right here at the back of the knife in that steel liner. There you go. Look. It precludes the possibility of drilling the holes in the same location as the titanium scale. Bottom hole and nothing on that side. If you look up in the top here, there are 4 holes. This is the Gen 1 liner with 2 sets of holes drilled, one for the original style clip and one for the Gen 2 clip in the wrong location. Current production blades are not this configuration. They have the clip in the right location, 1 set of holes, and the lightning holes have been rearranged to accommodate the clip in the right place. Okay, no big deal. I've handled the knife. There's really not a grip that I hold it in that clip is a problem. Maybe in the reverse grip, but it kind of just makes sure your thumb stays in the right place. It does make it ride more deeply in the pocket. I don't have any trouble extracting it. No big deal. Now the plot thickens. If you'll notice, you don't see any brick and mortar pattern on that scale. Why? Because I took it off. Why would I have taken it off? Well, there's a story behind that. If you've seen these knives, I've thought this since I really first saw them. I thought, man, these clip mounting holes are on pretty rugged terrain. Is that clip going to sit flat if you mount it for left-hand carry? The answer is no. The answer is also, not only does it not sit flat, it can't really grab right. Turn this over so the logo's facing the right way. The clip doesn't stay put. First of all, when I was able to tighten the screws the one time I inserted them, I'll get to that in a minute, no matter how tight I got them, the clip moved this way about a 1/4 inch. It couldn't get enough traction on that unsteady surface to get a good bite into the G10, and it was very annoying. Every time you grabbed the knife, you felt the clip move. Okay, no big deal. I called Kershaw, told them what was up. They're sending me a clip and a couple screws. Why a couple screws? Why a new clip? Well, these tiny little screws, and I don't know what size they are. I can tell you they're smaller than the pocket clip screws on my cold steel, because I tried to steal them a while ago from my lawman. If this clip is screwed into titanium, it's got like an 1/8 of an inch thick slab of TI. Threads the whole way, no big deal. Over here you've got a fairly thin steel liner with threads only the length of the thickness of that liner. They stripped right away. They stripped right away. $200 knife, hardware that is not hardened. Isn't that special? Golly. So I hope the new screws are long enough and have threads all the way to the end. Now let's get to the brick and mortar pattern. It's gone because, number one, it's ugly. I've always thought it was ugly. I thought, well, maybe it'll be better looking in person. It's not. It's just ugly. And it is a real bad pants grabber. The added thickness makes the screws even shorter than they are, so I decided, you know what? The knife has great ergonomics. It fits in the hand really well. It is well jimped. There's a great finger choil. I'm holding the knife. I don't really feel like I'm being helped much by the traction on the G10. It's going away. So it went away. Rather handsome, don't you think? I do. I also softened these corners a little bit while I was at it. Great. So, next week when I get my clip and screws, perhaps we'll have a secure clip. And then I think we'll have a pretty good knife. Of course, I did completely disassemble this because I had to do the G10 scale. Anyway, it's well built. Okay, let me kind of characterize the bad stuff here. The knife isn't really made for left-hand carry. In the interest of pleasing people like me, they drilled and tapped a steel liner. They used a screw that really needed a full length of threads in the titanium, capable of being mounted to a surface that really shouldn't have a clip mounted to it. You know, I'm going to forgive that. They're trying to accommodate, they just did so badly. So I'm going to help them fix it. The rest of the knife, extremely well executed. Forget the badly ground edge and the jacked up pocket clip for a minute. Let's look at the rest of the story. Superb lockup, about 30%. Absolutely no stick. Can't even hear it disengage. Great detent. Knife just fires. I've got it adjusted a little tight right now, in fact. Let's see if I can, while we're here, see if we can back this pivot off just a tick. I like that better. Let's see, how's our centering looking? It was a little bit to the right. It still is. I might take this apart again and swap the washers. It's not bad. We'll see if it settles in. So, let's finish talking about the good stuff. Excellent lockup. No side to side, no lock rock. The lock seems to be really, really well fitted to the blade tang. And let's take a look at that blade tang. I really like the way they ground this. Don't know if we're going to be able to get a real good shot of this profile. That's about as good as it's going to get, I think. It is a radius, but it's a really big radius. I mean, really big. And let's look here. Look at the full engagement. I'm talking this way. Not like a Strider with one tiny point. Almost the full length of the lock bar. I like that. Knife handles well. I got no problem. It's almost easier to use being left-handed than it is right-handed. When you're right-handed, you tend to grip the lock bar, and it makes it hard to open. Okay. Guys, I'm going to get this thing fixed up. New clip. Fine-tune it. I'm going to let you know some good news, I hope. This is kind of deja vu, me and Kershaw. Getting tired of it, though. Grace and peace, guys. Good night.